Hello, sea otters. I know that lots of you have really been enjoying our class book, Stone Age Boy, this half term, and I thought if I put it on the class page, then you can read along with me and enjoy it all over again and perhaps share it with your parents. So here goes, Stone Age Boy. Here he is, in those dark, gloomy woods that we've talked about, looking quite worried. An amazing thing once happened to me. I was wandering in the woods when I tripped and found myself falling down, down, down. And we know where he ended up, don't we? When I woke up, I was in a cold, dark place. I could see daylight in the distance and I stumbled towards it. Outside, everything was different. I realised I was lost, completely lost. So I walked and walked and walked. Then, to my relief, I saw someone, a girl. She was about my age, but she didn't look like any of the girls I knew. And I don't think I looked like any of the boys she knew. We liked that page, didn't we, with the glasses and her trying the glasses on. She took me home to meet her family, and what a family it was! They looked very strange, but they were kind to me and gave me some stew. I couldn't understand anything they were saying, though I worked out my new friend's name was Om. Then I must have fallen asleep. There they are. I love this picture. There's so much to look at, isn't there? I'll just pause so you can look at it there for a bit. The next morning, Om showed me round the camp. Everyone seemed busy and had a job to do. Over the next few days, I saw so much I'd never seen before. Om's people had no knives and forks, no plastic, no metal even. Everything they had was made out of wood, stone, animal skins or bones. I saw them. Well, what did he see? So much. Again, I'll pause here for you to have a really good look at that picture. They're busy, aren't they? And everybody has got an important job. No matter what job it is, they're all working together as a community, aren't they? Making fire by striking flint stones together or turning a wooden drill. Fire is used for cooking, to keep warm, and sometimes to scare animals. And then making tools. The flints are chipped, trimmed and sharpened, and then made into knives, spearheads and scrapers for cleaning animal skins. There's a bit there that I can't see under my picture. Not to worry. Using tools. Tools are used to make wood, antlers and bones into bowls, spears and ornaments. And there at the top you can see cutting a slice out of a bone, sharpening it on a grindstone, piercing a hole, and it's a sewing needle. And I love those ornaments. Reminds me a bit of what they found at Skara Brae, doesn't it? And then they are, using a throwing stick, you can throw a spear faster and further. Don't try it, please. Preparing and using animal skins. Now you can have a little look. If I pause here, you can look. Taking the skin off, cleaning it, cutting it, piercing holes in it. And there we are. They've got some clothes, haven't they? Then down the bottom, they're repairing the tent. And then they're preparing and cooking food. They don't waste anything, do they? Which is a great lesson for us, I think. One afternoon we went to the river. The little ones picked berries and nuts, but Om and I watched the men fishing. They held their pointed spears high and stood as still as trees. Then suddenly, swoosh, their spears dropped down like lightning and came up again, spiking wriggling silver fish. Suddenly a boy ran up, shouting and pointing to the hills. At once, several people grabbed their spears and followed him. Om and I followed them. Slowly, slowly, we crept forwards until we saw a reindeer. It was standing alone, munching the grass. I know some of you don't like this bit, but they have to eat, don't they? At a signal, the others ran towards it, yelling and throwing their spears. Om and I didn't have spears, but we yelled anyway. It was so exciting. A spear caught the reindeer in its side and it fell to the ground. That night we had a party to celebrate. We cooked the reindeer over a great fire and there was music and dancing. I joined in on air guitar. Love that bit. It's funny, isn't it? Can you see him just above the picture of me with his air guitar? And do you remember what the flutes were made out of? Can you tell your grown-ups, if they're with you, what the flutes were made out of? And we thought there's probably drums somewhere as well, didn't we? As the days became weeks, Om and her people taught me many things. I was very happy. Then one day, Om took me to a special place. We walked a long way until we came to the mouth of a cave. Om struck flint stones together to make fire. She lit a torch and we went in. And we know, don't we, what they found? If your grown-ups are with you, see if they can guess what we found. You might have already told them maybe what we've been learning about. I think this is my favourite bit. Wow. Just one word, wow. Can your grown-ups spot what Om and the boy found? Those amazing animal paintings. There they are. Possibly all the animals they hunted. Possibly animals that they saw in the distance. We don't really know, do we? We've got to just guess. Oh, can you see the handprints? They're really important, aren't they? It took me a moment to realise the animals were only paintings. In the flickering light of the torch, they looked real. Om went over to the tools and paints the artists had left and began to draw. Suddenly I saw something move in the darkness. What is it? It was a bear. A big, furious cave bear. I shouted at Om to run and turned to face the bear with my spear. I felt very small. Suddenly the ground gave way. And I found myself falling down, down, down. Remember, it was just like the beginning. It's like the story's come full circle, isn't it? There he is. And we know he's not in Stone Age anymore, is he? When I woke up, the bear had gone. So had Om. I rushed outside. The air felt different, warmer. I walked a long way calling for Om, but I never found her. That's a bit sad, isn't it? He's lost his friend. Instead, I found I was back home. When I told my family what had happened, they didn't believe me. They said I'd only been gone a few hours and I must have fallen asleep and dreamt it. Years passed, but I never forgot my friend Om. I am an archaeologist now. That's me in the glasses. Everywhere I go, I look in the past for signs of Om. And I never stop learning from her and her people. Was it a dream? Maybe. There, look, there he is in the glasses. Maybe not. So can you see that little cave painting that he's found? And maybe he thinks that was me with Om. And maybe that was the picture that Om had just started. What a fantastic story, Sea Otters. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. I've really loved working with it, and I think we've learnt a lot of history from it as well. So I hope you've enjoyed reading it with me.